This is the American Rebellion. My name is Jerry. How y'all doing? I'm here tonight from the great state of Louisiana, where they use possum heads to play softball and t-ball and stuff. It's fun. It is. Matt, how you doing tonight?
I have some new raccoon news that I have to take care of because remember I told you he came up on the back patio and was eating the cat food and the wife was freaking out. So we moved it. I made a shelf in the garage. Well, yesterday I'm sitting in the garage watching YouTube on my phone. I hear the cat eating. You know, he's like 5 feet. The shelf's 5 feet away from me. I hear the cat eating. You know, I'm not thinking much of it. I get up to go in the house. The fucker bolted off the shelf and then stood in the doorway looking at me. It was the fucking cone. 5 feet away from me, munching down on the cat food. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm a pepper his ass. I set up a tripwire for him in the doorway. I'm gonna pepper his ass. I got my beanie gun in one hand and a fucking hatchet in my other hand, so he's gonna have a problem.
That's a heartwarming story there, man. I gotta tell you. Nick, I'm afraid
or you'll cut a leg off and shoot yourself in the eye.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Nick, how you doing?
I guess a little bit better than that. I'm not fending off coons and possums anymore yet, for now.
Well,
other than that, I'm doing good.
The day's young for you down there in Louisiana, so that stuff could happen.
I've killed my share, believe me.
Well, let's see. Jimmy Collins. Okay. Jimmy Collins was first tonight. Virginia Pollock came in second. Nick Young's in the comments. David Novy was third. And we're moving along expeditiously. Okay, so as promised, we are bringing in a, I guess you'd say maybe one-time liberal San Francisco type hippie guy who is now, he said he used to be long hair down his back living in San Francisco. Then he had to get a job. So that ended that, I guess. But he's certainly conservative now. And he has his own radio shows, been doing radio for a long time. And he will be on screen with me this evening, hopefully, if the weather holds, because it's just raining like hell before. So we get to talk with him. I hope everybody will enjoy this. Anyway, let's everybody welcome BZ. BZ, how you doing?
Good evening to you, sir. How are you and your folks doing?
Doing well. Thank you. So you were a police officer, and you did radio, and you used to be like a hippie, I guess. And
well, I wasn't like a hippie. I was a hippie. Oh yeah, I'm all cleaned up.
Matt, you'd be proud of this guy's beard. I'm telling you, man. Matt has a beard kind of like yours. He just don't have the hair you have, so that's nice. But so you do a lot of conservative type.
So I posted a new picture yesterday that I said it was getting out of control, which it is. All my old classmates were like, "What the fuck is that? You?" Oh yeah, it's me. But anyways, where is BZ at now in California?
Where are you at now, BZ? In California?
I am what I call in the belly of the beast. I am in Sacramento, California, where the Bill Mill is at 10th and L Street downtown. The veritable locus of evil on the entire left coast, Sacramento.
Yeah. Isn't that the capital of California?
Unfortunately, it is.
It is.
The original capital of California was Auburn, California. I have a My wife's house is in Sacramento. I have my own house, which is up about the 4,000 foot level in the Sierra Nevada mountains. I retired after 41 years of law enforcement in 2016. I first started out in the FBI and then the U.S. Marshal, and I went to a coastal California department, and then I spent my last 35 years in law enforcement for the Sacramento County, California Sheriff's Department. And while I was there, I was in patrol, detectives. I was our EVOC supervisor, comm supervisor, and was the range master for my 3,000 plus deputy department. Retired in 2016, said I'm never shaving again and I'm never wearing a uniform or a suit again because I am done with that. I'm glad I retired when the hell I did. I do not have the temperance to put up with this bullshit now.
Yeah, I don't blame you, obviously. But we've discussed treatment of the police for a long time, and obviously there's been people trying to reform the police with civilian this and civilian that for years and years. But when did this really just start getting out of control?
I'd have to say initially it would be Ferguson.
Well,
You know,
that's where I live now.
Okay.
Matt,
And
Matt,
the Ferguson effect is real.
Something.
The Ferguson effect is real. It's absolutely real. And I can tell you, no matter what various administrators all around the United States are telling you, I don't know of anybody in any law enforcement, because I still have contacts in the FBI. I still have contacts in the U.S. Marshal's office. I still have contacts from the South. I have contacts from the East. I have contacts from all up and down California. And I can tell you that morale has never been this low before in law enforcement. And the Ferguson effect is taking hold and complete reign in just about every department that I can think of. And the Ferguson effect is this, depending on what it is that you have in your cars, in your vehicles. There's usually an MDT, MCT, or a laptop, and that dispatches you calls. And what the individuals are doing now in law enforcement is they are responding to calls. There are two types of law enforcement. There's proactive and there's reactive. If you think that any proactive law enforcement is occurring today, you would be absolutely wrong. And if you've got local police or sheriff administrators who are telling you otherwise, they're full of shit, because it's not happening. All these cops are now is one bad call from ruining their career and their lives. All you have to do is watch what happened in Atlanta to an office. Now, listen, there have been all sorts of institutions and all sorts of occasions where various law enforcement officers have done stupid things, and they've been appropriately prosecuted. Some of them are in prison today. Yay, go team. That's how prosecutions occur. Each and every case should be judged in and of itself. But in terms of law enforcement today, you're one bad call from being, you can do the right thing, just as that one cop did, investigated by GBI in Atlanta. The prosecutor on that case, who himself is under federal investigation and local investigation for all sorts of fraud, made the political decision that he, a black prosecutor, was going to begin prosecuting a white cop for doing the exact thing that Georgia law, that is never mentioned, allows him to do: protect himself. And that is to say, a taser in a prior case where that same prosecutor was going after a law enforcement officer for utilization of a taser, that's considered deadly force under Georgia law. Okay, all right, then apply that to the officer that was defending himself after an individual who was running from him turned and fired a taser, which is considered deadly force under Georgia law, at that officer. And you're going to tell me that officer lacks the ability to defend himself? Bullshit. That's one of the major reasons that you've got law enforcement standing down today. Oh, sure, they'll react all day long. Proactive law enforcement, that shit has flown.
Yeah. Well, I agree with everything you just said. Matt, you got any questions you'd like to ask? Matt?
I'll tell him my dad was a career police beat patrolman from 1955 to 1975, and he would be rolling over in his grave right now if he saw the current situation.
Absolutely. Because back then they had proactive policing, which he did. I remember when I was a kid, there was proactive policing. You know, a lot of it, like I grew up around Fort Lauderdale, so a lot of it was kind of illegal what they did, but nevertheless, um, and they had cops on the force that were not necessarily college graduates, but most of them were ex-military or ex something like that, and they could handle any situation, usually by themselves. Now we seem to have cops out there that are getting beat up by one or two people, and that's never good. And by the way, just a pet peeve, we should tell all the police to never, ever wear shorts. Shorts just look bad. What is that? I don't know. But my question is like these politicians. I mean, this to me is all the politicians. This is on the politicians because they're the. I mean, the police chief. Would you agree with the fact that by the time you're going to be a police chief, you are basically a politician? Because like in most states, the police or most cities, like in Florida, the police chief is appointed by the mayor. That's not an elected position like the sheriff.
I would say that's generally true all around the nation. You're finding police chiefs that are appointed, and so these people know who they're working for, or should, because they're all mature individuals. They should know exactly who they're working for, and they should be persons who have had a certain amount of experience. The thing that I found packed with irony, hypocrisy, and schadenfreude was the fact that the New York PD police chief was shocked, I tell you, when he got hit on the head with a terrorist. Note to NYPD police chief, stop kneeling for these fuckers. You cannot appease them. They cannot be appeased.
Yep.
They are Antifa. They are BLM. They are leftists of the first degree, and they are pushing communism on the entire nation. They want the nation to fall, the Cloward Piven effect, and then these people are struck. They're absolutely shocked when they find out that, well, kneeling doesn't appease them. You can't appease them. It doesn't happen. So police chiefs, especially in leftist enclaves, they know who they're working for. They know the nature of the city they're working for. The difference, though, and here's the next push, I can guarantee you, sheriffs are elected. And that's what leftists despise, is that they do not have control, direct control yet, over sheriffs. I don't know if you guys are aware, there is a push in Washington right now in King County to make sure that the King County sheriff can no longer be elected, but must be appointed by a body within the closest city. That would be generally Seattle. So that's another push by leftists to move the goalposts so that anything and everything can come under their control. If they can't control it, they're going to destroy it. But, the respect that I used to have for various police chiefs, it's true in Sacramento. Absolutely true in Sacramento. I can tell you of one occasion in Sacramento that occurred. It was late last year. It wasn't even during this crap. It was when there were some BLM protests over at the Sacramento Kings basketball area, and Sac PD, the Sacramento Police Department, that area is downtown generally. Sac PD was called for Code 3 cover for CHP, California Highway Patrol, making a vehicle stop and calling for Code 3 cover, which is immediate cover, and Sacramento Police Department would have been the first agency close enough to respond. Now, if you cannot respond and cover a brother or a sister law enforcement officer, I don't know what you can do. Sac PD refused to cover CHP in downtown Sacramento because they were told they could not leave that area where they were protecting the King's Arena against BLM. It's all over. And of course, primarily in leftist enclaves, what I call urban rat cages, which is why I don't live there. So it's everywhere. It is inculcated in law enforcement. I used to respect law enforcement. My respect for law enforcement generally is with the Indians, and even then, not entirely within the Indians. I call it the good sergeant effect. I made sergeant in my last department. I was told that I was never going to make lieutenant because I didn't roll over for certain individuals who were captains at the time. So it was very abundantly clear that my chance for promotion was done. So as far as I'm concerned, the gloves are off. I can do and act in any way I so choose. What I did is I watched Berkeley PD last year have anarchists in terms of Antifa, not yet BLM, but Antifa, ruin the city of Berkeley 1 block away. Their job, when you take this oath, is to protect life and property. If you can't do that job, you should get the fuck out and sell shoes or pour coffee. Something other than law enforcement. I watched videos of Berkeley PD officers with sergeants in their presence hold their troops back because the mayor called the chief, who called the captain, who called the lieutenant, who called the sergeants on scene and said, you will not be responding. You know how you solve that fucking situation? With a good sergeant. That's all it would have been taken. That's all that would have been required in any of these situations involving violence. One sergeant, just like I think it was a chief in NYPD, who said, I'm not kneeling for these shit sticks anymore. And he resigned and he left. Good on him. That guy actually had some morals. But a good sergeant takes care of his peeps, his troops, his brother officers and sisters, and makes sure that the city that he or she works for is safe. If I, as a good sergeant, any good sergeant, I'm using Berkeley as an example, had seen violence occurring within their block, and I know they had visual sight of it, one good sergeant is all it would have taken to turn around and tell all the rest of the troops that were there, V formation on me. We're going in. If I don't see any behind me, I'm going in by myself. And that's all it would have taken, is a few individuals behind one good sergeant to go in and start the job. And that would have broken the ice on everybody else. Now, likely in Berkeley, that good sergeant would have been fired, or his life would have been made miserable, or he would have had to resign. So I blame all of this bullshit, certainly, on police administrations. Not all of the Indians can be held blameless. Most, yes, I support the Indians. And trust me when I tell you, the Indians, as opposed to the chiefs, are having a miserable time in their jobs, which is why they're resigning and retiring at absolutely unprecedented rates.
Yeah, I just heard the LA Police Department, 200 cops or something, or someplace. It was 200 cops just applied to leave the force. New York City's got a bunch, a couple of hundred also, and this is like monthly. And how long can you sustain that as a police force before you're completely ineffective, even more so than you are now because of what politicians and their bullshit they're putting in place. We got a guy here. His name is Max. He's from the UK. Max is one of the show regulars. He's a good guy. Wants to know, who do you think is financing all this? As far as BLM, Antifa, whoever. I mean, I know a lot of people think it's all George Soros and everything else. What do you think?
It's primarily George Soros. It's a bunch of leftist organizations. It's also Communist China. Are you guys aware that Communist China has ties to just about every news organization you can think of? And Communist China pulls all their strings? Communist China has people inside most every university in the United States. They're funneling money
Oh,
here.
yeah.
If anybody thinks that Russia is the biggest enemy of the United States right now, you couldn't be more wrong. Now, George Soros, yes, is funding a ton of this. When you go into BLM, however, I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, because when people tell me, well, this is happening or this is happening, I try to do it. When people will tell me, oh, if you go to Google, you'll see this. I try it and find the exact same thing. It either is or it isn't. So I went to the BLM site. Like I was going to deposit some cash for BLM. And so you have to go through a few of these machinations. But here's a strange thing. When you do that, you end up at, the Democrat Party site.
Yeah. What is that, Act Blue or something?
Yeah, I can't
When you
remember
hit
the
their
name of the
donate button,
organization.
it goes to,
Yeah.
it's called Act Blue, and they give
Yeah.
donations to all these
Yeah.
Democrats. So, Nick, do you have any questions or anything you'd like to say also? We'll be going back and forth here.
Well, just want to let BZ know my father is a retired police sergeant. Served in Vietnam era, was like an E5 or E6 sergeant, and he finally got tired of the bullshit, getting passed up, just like you said, to become a lieutenant because of ass lickers who were much younger than him, much less years of service than him. But it was all political. So just about 4 or 5 years ago, he's 73. He finally said, fuck it. I've had enough of this bullshit. I'm tired of arresting these same knuckleheads every goddamn day. And before I finish the paperwork, they're out of jail and I'm arresting them again. And we elect a chief of police plus a mayor.
Oh, okay.
But the chief of police that we elected was actually a retired police officer who was a useless piece of shit. You know what I mean? And my dad said, I will not put this motherfucker whatsoever, so I'm retiring. So he had so much pay time or vacation time built up because he could pay overtime. And he took like 3 months off of work before he actually physically retired. So he was still building up his pension the whole time.
Okay.
But yeah, he was sick of it, And they're still asking my dad to run for chief of police in our local district all the time.
Max from England says it's a shame. It's the same here. Our police are ineffective. Also, the only thing will sort this, and that worries me. Yeah, every Western country seems to be doing the exact same thing. And I'm sorry, you may not like it when a cop pulls you over for a ticket. Chances are you were speeding or whatever, okay? And you were, and you just pissed off, okay? But life without police, I mean, I hear these BLM protesters screaming for police when, like, some guy shows up with a chainsaw or something to that effect. So I'm trying to figure out just exactly what these people think they're going to do. And, with no police, and you have a psychiatrist show up at, was it a rape scene or something they were trying to do somewhere or something to that effect. What are you going to do? It's ridiculous. And I don't feel like any of this is going to work. And I think the last time was the most important election for us nationally anyway, because, it was either Trump or Clinton. And to me, that was an obvious choice. Now it's worse. It's actually worse. Do you agree with that, BZ?
After a while, you get tired of being told that this is the most important election in your lifetime. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Every election is the most important election in your lifetime. This is the most important election in our lifetime, and the vote is nothing but binary. I don't know what you guys think of Trump. I haven't listened to you specifically long enough to know your opinions one way or the other. I have an idea, but I won't put words in your mouth. But I am saying this: if you vote for Biden, you're voting for this nation to be destroyed. Plain and simple. There is only one thing that leftists do anymore. There is no creativity on the part of leftists, BLM, Antifa, socialists, communists, Democrats, none of them. They don't know how to create.
No.
All they know is how to destroy. And if you think that this country is in a bad way now, the only person left around to pull the economy out of a hat is Donald Trump. I don't know what you guys think. I call him OMB, Orange Man Bad. I also quantify Donald Trump as a guy with a dead orange cat on his head. But if there's something that you can say about Donald Trump is a couple of things I have that are known as BZ axioms. One of them is in an election year, everything is about politics. Absolutely everything. The other axiom I have is I have been completely disabused, kicking and screaming, spitting blood with veins between my teeth of the term coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence anymore. That word has gone. That has exited from my lexicon now. There is no such animal anymore. Coronavirus, riots, BLM, the one particular officer in Minneapolis. Why were all of these elements in place and ready to go at the drop of a hat? It's because they already existed. These elements are all around the United States, and they're waiting to cloward Piven the nation down into complete destitution and destruction. This is a binary election. It's no more complicated than this. It's good versus evil. It's creation versus destruction. It's nurturing the family and keeping the family, otherwise destroying the family. Do these fuckheads ever go to BLM, including the corporate CEO assholes who are supporting these people? Do they ever go to the BLM site and wonder what it is that BLM represents? It's right there in black and white. BLM exists to rip the once nuclear family apart. Now, the once nuclear black family has already been ripped apart in the early 60s, courtesy of LBJ and his Great Society. Thank you very much.
Yep.
But it's continuing today.
Absolutely.
You know, Malcolm X said in 1963 that some of the worst opponents to blacks were white leftists and liberals. He said that. Those were his words. I played his words on my show yesterday. What is true in 1963 is true in 2020. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't see it. I'm telling you this. If you vote for Joe Biden on November 3rd, you ain't voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden isn't here. He's not present and accounted for. Maybe 6 months ago, I used to make fun of Joe Biden. Now I don't make fun of Joe Biden because he's not present. He is not here. He's not in America. I don't know where it is. The persons that I despise behind Joe Biden are, number one, his wife, Jill, for doing this to him for the worst, most cynical reasons on the planet, and number two, the handlers of Joe Biden who will tell him what to say, and in his current state he'll go out and say that. Joe Biden won't be running this nation. It will be all the people behind Joe Biden. It won't be Joe Biden. It'll be all of his handlers, and then whoever he picks for his vice president, that'll be whoever he picks for his vice president, whoever their philosophy is, and it will be a black female, I completely agree. And some of them will be the easiest to tear apart possible because of their past, thank God. But no matter who they are, their core beliefs will be those beliefs funding this nation from this point on. And folks, especially if you're poor, if you think that you're going to benefit from any of this crap, you are abso-fucking-lutely wrong. You couldn't be more wrong if you think that some of this money is going to trickle down to you.
Well, I've been saying this for a while, and I think people agree with it. Is I don't know what Joe Biden did to his wife that would make her want to do this to him. But this is almost cruelty, what they're doing to him, especially her.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. When I was a detective, one of the bureaus that used to be right next to mine was elder abuse. This is elder abuse. This is a case I would have referred to elder abuse in my department if I were there still in detectives.
Yeah. Matt, you got any questions? Max?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that we like Trump. I could do without some of the tweeting and name calling and stuff like that, but that's him. That's what he does. So you vote for the guy. To me, you got to take it all. I am not that happy with the way he is handling these riots. I'm not that happy with what's going on in Chicago. They're just now they're sending like 100 people to Chicago or something like that. To do what? To do what? You know, I mean, like yesterday, we got 9 people shot, a couple killed at a funeral home. A couple of weeks ago, the highest amount of people in Chicago history were killed, murdered, and shot. And, you know, short of removing the entire city council who thinks everybody's racist over there in Chicago and just changing the whole attitude on the city, and that comes from the voters, which are not going to do it. You know, what are you going to do? To me, send in the National Guard and at least stop this. Starts up again, do it again. Bring back water hoses. Bring back all the stuff that's so racist that stops this stuff. Because what they're doing now is nothing. And I don't care if somebody in BLM or Antifa gets killed, but I do care about the poor guy who's got a business who's out of business because he can't open his business because nobody will come to it. It's kind of like in California, you got places like San Francisco where, you know, this guy, Matt tells me about this all the time. We got people piling up on the streets, homeless and stuff, and nobody wants to go into these businesses, yet the business owners are powerless over it. What you know, these politicians are the problem in this country. I keep saying it's not shouldn't be the left against the right. It's causing all this. This is why China has taken over this country financially and in a whole lot of other ways also. You know, and what China has done, I mean, they just kicked them out of Houston today, I guess, their embassy or whatnot, saying it was a spy ring, huge spy ring. Really, that's a surprise to me? That's not a surprise to me. I don't know. How about you?
No shit. Thanks for figuring it out finally, government.
And my guess is people already knew for a long time. I don't know. What do you think, BZ?
I have, in an ideal perfect world, because those things don't exist, yeah, I would like to see Trump back off of Twitter. Actually, if you're talking about Twitter, I'd like to see him kick Twitter to the curb. I'd like to see him to go over to Parler. If he did that in one day, Jack Dorsey's net worth would drop, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars in one day. His stock would tank. So what I go by, I don't necessarily base any of my reactions on what Trump says, because I almost don't really care what Trump says anymore. I have to go by deeds, not words. And I'm sure you guys have heard that phrase for years. Deeds, not words. In politics, you answer words with words. And then you answer actions with actions. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's look now, even before COVID-19, what I call Wuhan 19, and even before the trashing of all of the leftist urban rat cages around here, Trump had some accomplishments. May I illustrate a few?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, How about jobs in the economy? He passed the tax reform bill, providing $5.5 billion in cuts and repealed the Obamacare mandate. He increased the GDP above 3%. He created 1.7 million new jobs, cutting unemployment to 4.1%. He saw the Dow Jones reach record highs. It was a rebound in economic confidence to a 17-year high, a new executive order to boost apprenticeships, a move to boost computer sciences in education department programs. Hey, anybody mention any of this shit to you? No. Prioritizing women-owned businesses for some $500 million in SBA loans. He signed an executive order demanding that 2 regulations be killed for every new one that's created. He beat that big and cut 16 rules and regulations for every one created. He saved $8.1 billion by doing this. He signed 15 congressional regulatory cuts. He withdrew from the Obama-era Paris Climate Agreement. He signed an executive order cutting the time for infrastructure permit approvals. He eliminated an Obama rule on streams that Trump felt unfairly targeted the coal industry. In fair trade, he made good on his campaign promise. And these are all campaign. This guy has made good on more campaign promises in my 7 decades on the planet than anyone that I've ever heard of before. Anybody. He made good on his campaign promise to withdraw from the TPP. He opened up the North American Free Trade Agreement for talks to better the deal for the U.S. He's a deal maker. He's not a politician. It's all about the art of the deal. You want to understand Trump? Read his book. He worked to bring companies back to the U.S. Companies like Toyota, Mazda, Broadcom, Foxconn went back to the United States. He promoted the sale of U.S. products abroad. He made enforcement of U.S. trade laws, especially that involved national security, a priority. He ended Obama's deal with Cuba. The Department of the Interior, which has led the way in cutting regulations, opened plans to lease 77 million acres in the Gulf of Mexico for oil and gas drilling. He's done a ton of things. The only reason that these things get stopped is because he's stopped by federal judges. Oh, federal judges. He's appointed 150 plus federal judges in lesser than SCOTUS opinions, because frequently, if you can stop a loony idea at a local or a circuit or an appellate court, much better than to have it get all the way up to SCOTUS. He traveled all through the world to promote the United States of America. I can go on.
Yeah, I know. The guy has been busting his ass since the day he got into office. I don't know. I think that, well, what do you think of the stimulus bill? At least the first one. To me, I think you split up all the money and give it to the American people. They'll decide what stays, what goes. You start bailing out companies, and all these companies, a lot of these companies hate Trump. They go out of their way to hate Trump, yet they're asking for federal dollars, which kind of pisses me off. But like when you give it $25 million to the Kennedy Center, and then they lay off the whole orchestra and stuff. Like, I mean, what is that? Stop giving money to these big corporations. Give it to the American people. They're going to go and spend it.
That's easy to talk about. That's easy to refute. And that is this. Trump is one dude. He can't do it all. And so it's up to us to make sure that he can continue to do something for the next 4 years. Most of his efforts, basically, everything since January 20th of 2017 has been all about removing Trump. When one thing didn't work, another was created. When that thing didn't work, another was created, and so on. It is that rolling pattern that has completely disabused me of there is no fucking thing called coincidence anymore. It is dead to me. There was, without a doubt, a soft coup against a presidential nominee, a president-elect, and a sitting president. All of the information has proven it. It's Dan Bongino in 24 minutes about a month ago laid out, someday I'm going to play it on my show, the perfect recitation of what actually happened and occurred to Donald Trump. And the Americans You know why I'm on Facebook suspension right now? I'm on Facebook suspension for a month, for 30 days, because I stated the obvious. I dared to state the obvious, and that is Americans are fucking stupid. The bulk of Americans are too, I call them the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus had a brain the size of a walnut in his brain housing group. He also had a ganglion of nerves in his rear to make his legs move. That's what the bulk of Americans are these days. Americans are fucking stupid because they're too damned complacent. Now, that also includes, do not make no mistake, that also includes a ton of Republicans as well, whose jobs is to do nothing but feather their beds.
Yeah.
The Republicans, the Lincoln Project, if you heard anything about that, is nothing but a clot, a congealed clot of disaffected Republicans who have TDM and have had it for absolutely years. Everything is about removing Trump. No matter, as it said, Trump could cure cancer, and he would be raked over the coals for eliminating jobs for doctors and nurses who once were employed to help people with cancer. It's all about the elimination of Trump.
Well,
never in my life have I seen so many forces arrayed against a single individual in the history of the United States. Never. And if for no other reason than to frustrate the fuck out of leftists, I'm going to vote for Trump in November.
Yeah, they're going after a lot of his people, and they're going after Barr. All of a sudden, they're going after Pompeo Pompeo? Yeah, the ambassador to Great Britain, the guy who owns the jets. He apparently said that Trump tried to get him to use one of his golf courses over there for whatever major golf tournament they were having. So that'll be the next thing,
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah. There's constant articles coming out of how Republicans are using Trump properties and Trump's making money off the presidency and all this other bullshit. I don't think any of the companies are really in his name anymore. I think his kids run it. But it doesn't matter. And the blatant lie. I mean, when Pelosi came out after he won and said, they asked her what she's going to do. She says, delay, lawsuit. And that's exactly what they've done. And they picked their judges and they just slow down everything. I mean, we can have the wall built and, to me, to get rid of immigration, you have to cut all the free benefits. Once you do that, most of them will probably leave on their own. Because the places that I've lived in my life where there's a lot of illegal aliens, they're collecting all kinds of welfare, kids going to school for free, plus the father, if there is one, is out working. So they're making more money than we are. And even though they are in low-paying jobs, still making more money than we are. It's ridiculous. And they're trying to stop that because it's obvious we cannot. Go ahead.
There's a great axiom that's out on the internet that I wanted to make sure that everybody heard while I was on Twitter and Facebook for my limited run on Facebook. But it's true. America doesn't need to see the tax returns of a billionaire who became a public servant. You know whose tax returns they really need to see? Every politician. America needs to see the tax returns of every public servant who somehow magically became a millionaire while being public servants. Those are the tax returns we should see.
Yep. That alone, doing that alone, half of the politicians in Washington, D.C., probably more, would be in prison for insider trading. Okay. And not to mention, taking illegal bribes and all the rest of it. It's ridiculous. And I got to tell you, I'm disgusted with the Republicans. I mean, they had the House and the Senate. They did nothing under Obama except give him every dime he wanted for every ridiculous thing he wanted. would not do anything to him when he's sending billions of dollars overseas to Iran, wouldn't do anything to him for anything. And then Trump gets in office, they can't, they screw up the healthcare, they screw up this. McConnell, I can't stand McConnell. And I find a lot of these Republicans, much like Trey Gowdy used to be, is that they talk a great game and they can scream to the rafters and they can give a good speech, but they do very little else.
Well, in the
And
various
that
committees,
just seems to be the way. Go ahead.
In the various committees, Trey Gowdy had some powers of subpoena, but in terms of disciplinary measures, Gowdy didn't have. He was completely powerless to do anything like that. That power does not lay with the committees. They can paper subpoenas, and then people can fail to make the returns on the subpoenas, etc. Again, we're Barr and Trump are two individuals who cannot do everything by themselves. And everybody has to understand that except for a select few of people number of people in DC, the deep state, number one, there is such a thing as the deep state. And the deep state is, people think of the deep state as, ooh, deep state, conspiracy theories. No, the deep state is nothing more than the people who continue voting left that are longtime federal government employees who have seen things happen one way and one way only for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and are not going to change and are not going to let OMB have any influence on them whatsoever. That's the deep state, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of them compared to one Trump or one Barr. Hey, I got to ask you a question. Do you have another 5 minutes or so? Are we going till the top of the hour?
That's fine. Yeah, we're on for 2 hours. You can stay as long as you want. It's fine. If you got to go, that's fine. Absolutely. And I appreciate you. I do, truly.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity that you're giving me to be here tonight. I'm going to have to leave at the top of the hour. But even I, as stupid and ancient and fat and obese as I am, even I there are 5 easy ways to change this stuff up. Very, very easy ways. You start this way. These are, again, all political axioms that I've had for years. The first one has to deal with, say, the goose and gander. I call it the Equal Application Act. Every federal law created applies to every federal employee, no matter their age, their sex, their job, their title, their position, the number of hours they work. No federal employee or contractor will be exempted from any federal law. Not politicians, not judges, not clerks, not lobbyists in federal employ. No exemptions for any past federal laws for anyone, period. You either apply the law in a blanket fashion or you don't consider it at all. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for the American people ought to be good for the people that write the laws as well. That's going to set a lot of asses on fire.
Tiffany Sullivan is with us on YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, and it would be constitutional also because they're supposed to do that. What's next?
The other one is what I call the attorneys, because they will revolt after this, and it's very simple. The Tort Reform Act. Loser pays everything. You want to talk about a chilling effect? Yeah. Attorneys call that a chilling effect. Okay, let's talk about the chilling effect. There, now we have. Next, what I call the truth in We Don't Need No Stinking Truth. This is the Transparency in Bills Act. Each bill will have one fundamental topic, period. There will be no riders, ever. No confusion, no attachments, no hanging something about military funding on a bill about ducks and geese, no trying to slide something stupid surreptitiously through some kind of bland bill otherwise. One bill, one topic, period. End of statement.
Yep.
The fourth
Yep.
one is
Absolutely.
I call it the, hey, we can't move cash around anymore. Yeah, it's called the Truth in Budgets Act. Monies acquired through a given bill are going to be held only for that bill in a separate account. No more mixing or stealing or moving cash in the dead of night from one topic or one account to another, especially into the general fund. No, N-O, never. Encumbered funds for one thing in one bill shall remain in that given account and will be used for nothing but the topic of whatever that given bill is. No stealing from Peter to pay Paul. Taxpayers expected you to go fix, fill in the blank. They expected you to fill in this shit with that cash. So they don't want you to fund a bill for blind gay Estonian monopod dwarves just because, it's like California, always spell it with a K does all the time. And then there's one final thing. And I call it the send me back to where? I call it the E-Verify Act. You want to clean up America? Ooh, every employer has to use E-Verify, mandated from a small business to a mega corporation. If an individual is not a lawful resident of the United States, they shouldn't be employed. You want to impact wall building? You want to minimize the necessity for building that wall in the first place? When illegals can no longer profit from draining America, guess what happens? Yeah, America gets less drained. Yeah. What an astounding revelation. Yeah. Let's try doing something unique. Let's try keeping America's cash in America. What a concept.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all you need.
Plus,
5.
I mean, the amount of money we spend. Yeah, they're here making our economy great, yet they're draining the economy of 50, 60, 80 billion dollars a year for their benefits and all the rest of it that we as Americans a lot of times can't get. Okay, BZ, I know you got to go, but BZ does a radio show. How often are you on, BZ?
I am on every Tuesday and Thursday night. I'm on every Tuesday and Thursday night. It's 11 p.m. Eastern. Number one, it's a late night show. And so that cuts off a ton of my viewers and listeners. But okay, it works for me. It works for some other people as well. It's called BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. And it's at 8 p.m. Pacific. Mm-hmm. That's my time. 11 p.m. Eastern. I go for 2 hours twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday nights. You can go to shrmedia.com to find the show. I'm also broadcasting live. You can see it streamed on the SHR Media Facebook page because I found a workaround for that. Shh, don't tell anybody. And you can also see it on the SHR Media YouTube channel as well. And I've had a lot of people on from here's an interesting person I had on last Thursday night. Don't know if you've ever heard about her. Lily Tang Williams. I went to Freedom Fest, which is a libertarian get-together in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they generally put it on every year. I've been in 2016 and 2017. SHR Media usually has a booth there. We can't afford to go, or we haven't been since 2018. But in 2016 and 2017, I met this individual named Lily Tang Williams, who lived under communist China under Mao Zedong and experienced the Cultural Revolution. And I would recommend people listen or watch that show where she spoke to me for 2 continuous hours about life under real communism, not play communism, not fake communism, real communism. One of the things she told me that no one has heard before and has been purposely quashed is that between 1959 and 1961, communist China starved 45 million Chinese citizens in 2 years. Now, we
Yes.
say communism has been responsible for killing 100 million people. Yay, communism. 100 years of communism. Woohoo! That's great. Yeah. Add on 45 million Chinese starved by the Chinese government in actually 3 years. Wow. That's communism. That's what you're
Yeah.
going to be living under if it actually goes that far. Hey, Venezuela, you know, it seems to me, doesn't seem to you guys that leftists these days want every urban rat cage to look and resemble beautiful downtown Mogadishu. Folks, you vote for Biden in November, your cities are going to look like beautiful downtown Mogadishu real soon.
Yep. So, BZ, can you send me a link to your show? Because people are asking about it, and I'd like to put it up here, and then I'll put it up on our page also, because you are definitely a firebrand. People like that. And,
I don't see any way that I can put it up here. I can send you all the links,
No.
and you can put them up.
Just send it through
You can put 'em up.
Messenger is fine. Absolutely.
There you go. I'll do that. I'll send you
I will
all the
put
links
them
you
up.
could possibly need.
Yeah.
One thing before I go.
Okay, great.
SHR Media.
Absolutely.
SHR Media is called SHR Media because it stands for Sack Heads Radio. And the first thing people ask about SHR Media is Sackheads Radio. That's a really stupid name. How did you get to Sackheads Radio? Well, the original content creators, plus myself, we're all in law enforcement. One of the co-owners is retired Boston PD. Another co-owner is a current lieutenant in CHP. I'm a retired 41-year veteran of law enforcement. And for years, we couldn't have our names associated with anything. And because I'd been doing this for so long, I didn't put my name out there. My true name does not exist in social media at all, nor am I putting it out there. So people wonder, BC, how did you ever get that name?
Right.
Well, that's not my real name. If you people think that's my real name, you got another thing coming. But that's how SHR Media got its name. So I joined in with two guys who were already in law enforcement. I made the triumvirate. That's Sackheads Media, or that's SHR Media. That's who you're listening to. And I'm proud to be a member of that organization. One continuing member of law enforcement, two retired members of law enforcement. That's who we are. And I think that should tell you a ton about our background right there.
I love it. If you send those links, I'll make sure they get out.
I will be happy to.
We're about at the. Yeah, I have really enjoyed you coming on. I'd love to have you again. As you know, there are so many things, so many topics we could talk about.
Oh my God, yeah.
Most of them exceedingly stupid and corrupt. You would need probably 10 weeks worth of shows to get through them all or more. And of course, the new ones added every day, which are helpful. But if you ever want to come back on, I would love to have you back on. I would. And I think everybody really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, sir. Here's a funny little thing about my analytics. I usually get, in the past year or so, I usually get about anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 people listening to my show. After I was suspended by Facebook, now I'm getting 30, 40, 50, 60 views per show. Folks, if you don't think that social media is doing every bit of its level best to eradicate Donald Trump and the people like you guys who are messengers for the truth, that's another reason you cannot fail to show up for the polls and submit your ballots. Vote red. It's a binary election.
Yep.
November 4th, piss everybody off by having Trump in office for a second term, please. Sir, it's been an honor and a pleasure being on your show.
Well, we've been. Thank you so much, Biff, or BZ. Yeah, we've been doing this for 5 years. We now have 17 people on here. We used to get a crap load more.
Yep. Guaranteed they're
I
cutting
guess
you
a
too.
bad person in Facebook. size. Yeah, they're doing it to everybody. I got my YouTube channel banned last week or the week before. After I don't know how many years, and I had like 500-600 videos on there. It's gone. So it is what it is. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, every time I say I want to quit doing this because I'm sick of it, I just can't do it. So it's like
I can't do it either.
It is what it is. But thank you. Yeah, I can't quit. So
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
for coming on. I will be definitely again. You have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Alrighty, I'll be sending those links to you probably in about 5 minutes.
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you so
sir.
much. Bye. He was on like a video also. It was on Facebook, and I guess he just recently got kicked off. So. Hey, Dave Rizzo. We got David Moon. Max is here. Destiny Paris is here. Alan McMillan is here. Sorry I didn't get to a lot of your comments. Let me explain the rule. When we have guests on here, you can have any opinions you want. Now, I don't know if that was Virginia or not. I got to be honest, it kind of sounded like her. She gets upset sometimes about things. Tiffany Sullivan is here on YouTube because she can't comment. Oh, so is David Novi, actually, because she can't comment on Facebook for some damn reason. But we are polite to the guests, anybody who comes on. And that means anybody. I understand that people have opinions, and not everybody's going to agree with me, or not everybody's going to agree with BZ, or Matt, or Nick, or any of you guys. I get that. I do. However, we're going to be polite and let them have their opinion, because I don't know about any of you guys. I would like it if everybody was allowed to have their opinion without being told off or anything else. We are not the left.
Other than that, you are doing exactly what the left does. You're a fascist.
Now, you can argue with me, or Matt, or Nick, and you can, hell, some people get downright pissed at us over the years. There's no doubt of that. But guests are different. No, Alan, that's my fan. I'm actually got a new microphone stand coming with some extra shit on it, so we'll see if that works. I don't fucking know. Is Matt still with us? And comments can be misunderstood.
I am.
You are right, David. You are right, David. There can be misunderstandings all the time. The thing is we talk them out here. We try to very hard. We do. I have nothing against Virginia Pollock. I love Virginia Pollock. Always have. Love her passion. Love everything about her. I even love her when she's mad at me. But when it's a guest, we don't do that. Now, you don't have to agree with them, and you can, go do something else or listen or do whatever the hell you want. We're just not going to do that. That's all. And I'm not mad at anybody. And I hope she is not too mad at me.
I don't know what all that means, but what have you?
Yeah, it was really not a big deal. It's just I forgot to mention it before the show. And Virginia hacked? I don't know. One of you guys right now could text her to
It did
find
not
out.
sound right to me.
Okay, well, it's possible. Anything is possible. And if she was, then I owe her an apology for because she didn't do nothing wrong. Okay. Uh, and we will, one way or the other, we'll find out. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. They all stink. But this is America. Get over it. I get getting pissed off. Believe me, of all people, I get getting pissed off at other people's opinions. Believe me, I get pissed off at Matt's opinion, or Nick's opinion, or somebody's opinion every fucking time we're on here. But in the end, I don't want anybody to go away. You know, we're enemies. I don't. I really don't. So, Matt, what did you think?
Well, there wasn't really much room edgewise to say much, but that's fine. That's why he was on there, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But he seems to be very knowledgeable. I've listened to him a couple of. I went and actually looked up a couple of his shows, and I listened to him like 20, 25 minutes on one, 30 minutes on the other. And he's very knowledgeable, and he makes a lot of sense. Those 5 things he said at the end were absolutely correct. That would fix a lot of shit, if not most of it. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, but that would fix it. Nick, what'd you think?
I think he was spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a leftist. He saw the light, headed to the light, walked the fuck away, got woke.
Yeah, most of them old hippies didn't normally become police officers, so that's kind of odd. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that was fresh.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, though. You think about it. It really was. But how about you guys out in the comments?
Well, I don't want to go into all that part, but
What part?
well,
Thank you, Tina.
just no, I don't want to say. I'm not going to say.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I enjoyed it. So
It'd be all speculation. I mean, I don't know shit about him. Never heard him before. So I'm not going to say anything.
okay. Well, that's fun. That's fun. I enjoyed it. So hopefully we can have on different guests at least once a week, maybe Wednesdays. Also, might as well tell you now. I figured out a way to have actual phone calls, seeing as how nobody ever wants to come on camera. David Novi liked them. Virginia Pollock is back. Okay. Is that you, Virginia, or is that somebody hacked you? I don't know. So most of the information that happened, I'm going to say he was preaching to the choir, if that makes sense. No, that's true. That's true.
Did you say my girlfriend Destiny is here?
She is.
Come on.
She is Miss Destiny. Anyway, so we got a phone number. I got a Google phone number. We're going to try that maybe Friday night if we can get anybody to call in. It's an internet thing. You call, and I get it on the internet. I have it on my other screen over here, and we'll be able to talk to somebody, some of you guys, if you'd like. And it's easier than what do you call Skype. Nobody has to have an account. All you got to do is just make the phone call, and it will ring through on my computer here. So I spent literally 2
Oh
hours.
Lord, that'll work like a fucking champ.
Thank you for your confidence. I appreciate that, Matt. Virginia Pollock is fun. Well, I'm glad you're back, Virginia. We are free to disagree. Listen, folks, everybody kind of, one time or another, wants everybody to agree with everything just to make life easier. And it would. But it would also make life freaking boring. And we would all end up committing suicide. So it's a bad thing. You know, everybody's got their own opinion. It's fine. It's just that the way it is. So
Yeah, you just don't go rioting and looting and burning buildings down when you don't agree with them. You know, that's what we don't do.
that's true.
You know,
That's,
defriend them
this is
just because they don't agree with our opinion.
it's kind of like what we were talking about with BZ. The everybody gets a trophy, but in the real world, it's not like that. So what happens? I guess you burn down buildings when you don't get your way. You kill someone. You beat people up. You loot. That's what we've come to in this country. And this is from 30, 40 years of the government not letting you put a hand on your kid and whack him in the back of the head every now and again to show him who's in charge. Teaching him respect for others, no matter who it is. Not just cops, but everybody. What has happened is that the mainstream media has dumbed down the planet along with the school systems, and the mainstream media is using the morons in the street to get Trump out of the White House. That's what they're trying to do. It's that simple.
Well, yeah, it all comes down to the whole not holding kids any kind of discipline. Your parents don't kick their ass. The teachers can't lay hands on them. They're not afraid of the cops. Cops can't. You can't do this. They don't believe they have any fucking responsibility for anything.
Yeah, the cops go to work every morning with handcuffs on. That's the problem today.
Which they don't have to defund the police in New York City. They're fucking retiring in droves and fucking resigning. I mean, they don't need to defund them. They're defunding themselves.
And telling them, no, you can't retire because we can only take so many, 40 a day or whatever. Well, come on now. That's ridiculous. If so many cops are wanting out of that nonsense, then somebody needs to see there's a problem there and find out what the problem is. It's not with the cops.
No.
With the leadership.
Yep. Virginia says I'm going to have to...
Well, it goes back to the 5 years ago, they cried to have body cameras in every cop. And then when it showed people doing wrong shit, then all of a sudden they go, oh, that's racist to have body cams on.
Yeah, you can't do that. See how that works?
Yeah, it's just freaking hypocritical as hell. Virginia Pollock says I'm going to have to think about what happened. Okay. Well, Virginia, on this show, we try to be polite to the guests. Just because you don't like their opinion, we get mad when the left does that to us, but now we're going to do it to someone else? That's not right. And I'm sorry if you're mad at me. I am. I like you a lot. My wife loves you. She does. But
not as much as Destiny loves me, but it was close.
All I'm saying is that
yeah.
The rule has always been, and this isn't a new rule. It's always been the rule. No matter what caller called in or what guest we had on, we were always polite. We have actually had liberals and Bernie bros call in. It's been a long time. I'll give you that. Back during the last election, with Trump and Bernie and the butcher of Benghazi there, but and everybody had to be polite. That's all I'm saying. Literally all I'm saying. And when I say stop, you got to stop. You don't have to agree with anything he said. That's not what I'm saying. We just need to be polite about it. You can.
I don't think Virginia heard what he actually said. She just posted, "I like Z though. I just got a weird cutoff, honey." I don't know what that meant.
I don't either.
I'm not sure she actually understood the actual conversation that was going on there.
Yeah, I think I know about when it happened, and I can kind of get that. But all right, listen, everybody be freaking happy, will you please? My phone went weird. Z is cool. Oh.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I personally like him. I think he's knowledgeable. I think he understands exactly what's going on, like most of us do. And quite frankly, we're a small audience here and people and everything, but I think most of the country understands exactly what's going on here. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there with your conspiracy theories, most of which are probably bullshit, but in the end, I think that most people know exactly, and that's what we try to bring here. We try to bring opinions that we believe in to gather people who also believe in them. So don't worry about it. And Virginia, I love you.
Come on, Virginia, I'll cheer you up.
There ain't a person.
Oh, Canada. do.
Wow. No, she said she had technical difficulties with her phone.
Yeah.
So I think the conversation got garbled for her, and she got bits and pieces of it. I think that's exactly what it was. I think I called that.
Let me tell you guys something, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Every night when I sit down at this desk and I turn the computer on, I look forward to calling Matt and Nick. And then I look forward to talking to you guys. Most of the time, it's the same people. And I look forward to that. I do. And why? Because I like Matt and Nick. They're decent people. And so are all you. So before the sugar gets too thick and we all end up with a mouthful of cavities, we'll stop with that. Yeah.
So
I should know. I should know more of the words of that. I'm such a U.S. Centric fuck. I used to watch Canadian hockey in French, and they play the Canadian national anthem all the time. I think I used to know the words, but I don't anymore. I don't know it anymore. I'm like a dipshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know. Max says, I keep trying to call
him.
Hey,
David. You said it.
Oh, geez, he's singing again. Stick with the plastic drums, Matt. And David Novi says, stop! Don't let Matt sing. Well, he just tortured the Canadian national anthem, so that should help everyone. Deep state is real.
Plastic drums my ass. I ripped off a perfect rendition of Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company. I should have recorded it because it was fucking perfect.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If you did it once, you can do it again, man.
Yeah, I can wing. I could back up a Fleetwood Mac band. That's simple shit. I could do a Stones. I can hang with Stones groove. You know, I'm not Charlie Watts. He's good. He's very good. But I mean, I can hang down with the basic groove. You know what I mean? I'm getting there.
You're the man, Matt. Frustrated rock star. Well, wow. The deep state is real, but it's not about Obama holdovers. It goes further back 40 years. Yeah, it goes back to the politicians that have been in office forever. It goes back to people who have worked in government for years and years and years that are slow walking things or whatever they're doing, whistleblower bullshit, all that kind of crap, abusing that when in reality, there's probably quite a few whistleblowers that want to speak but don't want to go through what they have to go through. Not to mention, we have, you got one person saying one thing and one person saying something else. Trump says one thing, and one of the leaders of his cabinet says something else. Then, of course, you got the Democrats, and then you got the outsiders, and the Soroses and people like that. There are so many different types of people in what's called the deep state. I hate them words, but there are people actively in our government, and a lot of them who are fighting against what Trump is doing. And what Trump is doing is actually, to me, and I wanted to say this when he was on, but to me, he's telling us who's corrupt. And it's our job to get him out. And it's also our job to make sure whoever's running against him on the Democrat side don't get in. Okay. So people are now getting cut. You never know. I may be on a ban tomorrow. Who knows? Alan says tonight has been good for me. No buffering or kickoff. Good for you. Good for you. Apparently, a few others have had a problem. I don't know. Well, guys, you want to keep going or you want to call it a night or what do you want to do? Everybody tell me.
It's your call. It's your show.
No, it's not my show. It's our show. You're killing me with this. All right, just tell. You want to keep going or you want to? What do you want to do?
Well, how about we get the peanut gallery to answer? See if anybody texts and see.
Peanut Gallery, what do you think? Well, Max says keep going because he hasn't been kicked off enough tonight. All right, well, I'll be right back. So, anyway, you two talk amongst yourselves.
balls on that fucker.
That's like a possum. They don't, or an armadillo. They don't give two shits. If you can stand right there, they're going to look at you. The armadillo's just going to get this big shit-eating grin on his face and hiss at you. You know, possum's blind as fuck. You can't see you. And the raccoon's just like, you know, fuck you, fool. I'll attack your ass. You know,
Yeah, I had the possum. He was using my fence posts as a runway. I set up a fucking snare for his ass. The wife made me take it down. She's like, the cat can get stuck in there. I'm like, yeah, it could. Because he does the same shit.
well, don't worry. He'll figure it out and take it down. And he'll set a trap for your ass when you walk out the door. Raccoons are kind of smart. Just saying.
So,
Well, we got a little a battle going on here, me and this raccoon, that he thinks he's got the upper hand right now. But he's gonna be sorely mistaken.
have you
If I
ever,
throw the fucking hatchet at his head, he's gonna have a problem.
you ever think of maybe just closing your garage door when you're not in there?
I did that yesterday because I got tired of waiting for him. He didn't show up. So I was like, oh, fuck it. We'll just shut it down.
Okay. Alan McMillan
You don't
said,
have a fireplace, do you?
we'll try this again.
He'll climb down and get your ass.
Alan McMillan says the numbers of people have told me that they are waiting for us old timers to die is a bigger problem than what most people think. I don't think so. I have no doubt that there are. I've heard people say that. I have no doubt you people have said to you, but I don't know. I don't know. Dave Rougeau says, I've been listening while deboning chicken and making a rux for gumbo. What the hell is a rux? R-O-U-X.
Root.
Roux?
Root.
Shit. Destiny heard
Roux.
that. Should be up and ready.
Yeah, root. It's what you make a gumbo with.
Okay.
Makes it dark. Yeah,
That's-
makes it dark.
Why do you got to debone the chicken? Why debone it?
Because you don't have to worry about the bones.
Makes perfect sense.
It's all meat.
Okay.
It's just the way it is.
Well, I mean, the bone gives it flavor when you cook the shit. What the hell?
It does. You probably take the bones and you put that in another pot and you boil it and you make a broth for something else. That's how you make broth.
What'd you say? You're wearing a bra?
Yeah, that.
I don't want that in my head. What's wrong with you people? Okay, anyway, Jimmy Collins says, now peanut gallery is offensive. Well, that's all right. We're offensive to begin with. Tiffany Sullivan on YouTube says, fuck the big
You should say non-allergenic nut gallery.
Oh, shit.
Tiffany Sullivan on YouTube says, fuck the Benghazi butcher. She should be in handcuffs, but it's so dangerous people are scared to tell the truth about her. Should be the Rogues Gallery. I like Rogues Gallery. That's fun.
Why do you think that fucking that goddamn judge that got her husband and son whacked?
Yeah.
Is she gonna get the message to play ball, or is she gonna get it next?
No, I don't know.
They
Yeah.
need her. They still need her to sweep this shit under the rug. They didn't want to kill her. They're just giving her a fucking message to play ball right now. Yeah, if they killed her, they'd have to deal with a whole new fucker that doesn't understand how it's gonna go.
Well, apparently he also.
Yeah, but who knew what the shooter didn't know what he was going to see when the door opened.
Yeah, I don't think
I think he was just going to shoot somebody.
I think he was just a nut job.
No, that was bullshit. No, it was bullshit because he had intel that she was in the house as well. He shot husband and son and then go in to get her. It wasn't for her. It was to scare her into doing what they want.
Well, yeah, but she could have been in the house now. It just happenstance she's in the basement. But it could have been her that opened the door. Then what would the shooter have done at that point?
No, he would have pushed past her and shot the other ones in the same manner.
Probably knock her on her ass and go on a vengeance. Maybe. Who knows?
Virginia
But he
Pollock.
killed himself, so nobody's going to know.
Virginia Pollock
Oh,
had to
right.
go.
He killed himself.
Good night, Virginia. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
He also killed a lawyer in California who was like a divorce lawyer, some kind of shit or another. So I'm not sure this was that, to be honest. I'm not. But you never know. It just seems
Well, he had to do something wacky.
possible.
Bullshit. It's a fucking hit.
And if
It's a
you
fucking hit.
When they claim he was like some anti-feminism lawyer, men's rights lawyer, or whatever the shit he was,
yeah,
and this judge had ruled against him or some shit,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, he didn't care for him.
Well, he was the perfect dude to, they brought a FedEx package and laid it next to him where he killed himself. He wasn't even the dude that did it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that worked.
Well, I don't know. If you believe in with BZ, then that definitely seems like it could be possible. How on God's earth does the entire nation not see the slightest hint of someone telling the truth gets dead? The Judge thing, Epstein, the list goes on. So Tiffany's on your side with that. And I mean, I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm just saying I don't know, because with the Epstein thing, the thing is, this may backfire on him, and she may want revenge.
Well, yeah. The whole thing is, does she have to recuse herself from the Deutsche Bank fucking case that she's the big case that has Epstein, Clinton ties to it and everything? That was the message, but is she going to recuse herself? Because if she does, then the next judge is going to go, I don't want shit like this, so I'm going to play ball with everybody. Whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do.
Tiffany Sullivan on YouTube says, my husband said get a live trap and a little something shiny in it. Raccoons cannot resist anything shiny. Throw some money in there, man. You got a lot of that.
Silver bullets.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to catch the fucker. I just want to scare him away.
Well,
okay. He's going to come back, man. You do realize that, right? He's smarter than you.
Yeah, I'm going to be sitting out here about 8:30 tonight waiting for him is what I'm going to be doing. There. I got a little tripwire across the doorway and, with a tin can full of fucking rocks in it and shit. And when he trips it, I'm going to pepper his ass with the BB gun. Then if he comes in, we're going to go hand to hand with a hatchet, I guess.
He'll jump over that or crawl under it, and then he'll defeat you at your game. Raccoons aren't stupid, believe me. They will take control.
You think he's going to be able to match wits with me?
Yeah.
yeah, Matt.
Simple answer. No, it won't be a match. It'll be a win.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been wanting to talk to you about that, man. Tinfoil will work like a charm and take the trap and take him to the woods.
Well, I ain't going to go through all that much trouble.
You take him out right there, then you take him to the woods.
Well, I could get him in a live trap and then throw him in my pool.
All right.
That's great.
You're off the show if you do that. That's
You send him to Louisiana, somebody is going to eat him. They eat goon around here.
It's my grandmother when she had too many fucking barn cats and litters, she put them all in a fucking burlap sack and throw them in a fucking pond.
Okay. Guys, there's a lot of animal lovers on here. Don't want to have this fucking conversation. Okay, let's stop. House votes to remove statues that honor Confederate leaders and racists. Oh, they, I guess probably everybody knows this now, but they arrested 3 people in their murders down here in Florida. And the guy, I guess, who did the murders actually pulled the trigger anyway. Had 200 and I think 33 felony counts at one time or another in his life. Been in state prison twice. Was out on bail this time.
What did you say? How many felony counts?
233.
That's impossible.
Altogether in his life. He started getting arrested at, well, he was 13. He's been in state prison twice. He was out on bail for beating a guy and breaking his arm. The sheriff cannot explain how he wasn't behind bars. My guess is that probably the judge can't either. Yeah, him.
So did they have any connection with the victims?
Yeah.
Or what was the motive?
Well, it was him, his brother, younger brother, and his girlfriend. She got charged with accessory after the fact or something. The brother got charged with, what was it? Accessory and screwing with evidence or something. Apparently, the guy did the murders, met up with the kid. One of the guys saw him. They talked. The kid told him where they were going. He told the murderer told his brother to follow him, find out when they get there, and that's how they got him. I told you it was more than one person. I think everybody kind of knew that by the description that the police gave.
So, I mean, was it like some street beef or a drug deal, or they have the history together, or what?
He accused the one guy of stealing a motor from his truck. Now, the 3 guys that got killed were not angels either. They had their legal problems at one time or another. But
of course, they're from Florida. What the fuck?
What the? Yeah, because they don't have that in California. Glad they got them all over a disagreement about a pickup truck. Yeah, so they accused him of stealing a motor, something. And I guess they paid with their lives.
Really? Now let's look at the logic of this. Is whatever you did, stole your truck, stole the motor. You really want to kill somebody over something like that? Come on,
Sheriff said this guy
Let's
literally
do a little critical thinking here, you know?
No, he said this guy had like 3 brain cells. This was his best plan. Are we still communicating? Yes, we're still communicating. From Virginia Pollock. Oh, you're asking if we're still live. Yeah, we're still live, Virginia, until 9 o'clock. Another 20 minutes. How does a guy with that many felonies who has been arrested and is out on, how does he get out on bail after he violently assaulted somebody and broke their arm? How does that happen?
I don't know how you could be out of jail in any sense after. That's impossible to have 200 felonies and not doing life in prison. What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you think? We don't have liberal judges in Florida. They want to keep giving people chances. Plus, well, this is what I'm just telling you what the sheriff said. He has no reason to lie about this. Right? He won't be getting out again. And apparently in Florida law, if you are on bail and you commit another felony, you cannot get bailed again. So although they're going to probably revoke the other one just out of shits and giggles, but he's not getting back out. And he's going to be charged with, I would imagine, capital murder. And if we're lucky, this evil piece of shit will end up in the on the gurney with a needle in his arm in about 20 fucking years. This was completely and totally just not. It was nothing. There was no reason for this. Is this about the 3 just killed? Yes, down in Florida, in what the hell is it called? Frostproof, Florida.
And yeah, who's his brother and girlfriend? They're like, oh yeah, this seems like a good fucking plan. We're gonna go kill them, and they go along with it. Like da, 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 da.
This guy was not right in the head. This guy was a bad man. So you're his girlfriend. He tells you to do something. The brother, who probably has 4 brain cells or less, okay, he tells him to do something. You gonna tell him no? He's liable to shoot you.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, I'll meet you there in 5 minutes, but I ain't coming.
There are people that just need to be dead. I'm sorry. I know people, oh, you can't wish death on anybody. You can't be happy about death. Yeah, you can. Yes, you very much can. And this guy is one of them. Now, I don't care what the other guys did. I don't even care if the one guy stole his fucking truck motor. You call the fucking police, or something. You don't beat and kill 3 people. You don't, over a truck motor.
Well, that's what I mean. The goddamn level of it's not like he murdered your son or something. And you got to get. It's a goddamn truck. I mean, it ain't life or death. Well, it was, but it shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
I mean, these people had families that loved them and all. It's just not unlike, in fucking Chicago or anyplace else. 9 people standing outside a funeral home for apparently a scumbag who was dead.
No, 15. 15 people got shot at the funeral. Yeah. Now, who's going to go? You got to go to a funeral and shoot it up? Come on, man. What the hell is wrong with you?
They definitely do that. They've done that before. Hell, they did it a couple of weeks ago at the graveyard, I think. And the not funny, ironic part about this was this happened literally 2 minutes after Beetlejuice got up and said, "Trump, keep your people out of here. We don't want them." 2 minutes later. Can you just walk off with a truck motor these days? First thing came to my mind when I heard that, Nick. I don't know. I don't know all the particulars on that. Would anyone here pay $60 plus for a photo with a celebrity? No. Most of them I wouldn't take a picture for free with. Who the hell wants $60
Depends
plus?
on what celebrity it is and what we're doing.
Who wants 60 plus for a photo with a celebrity? Or what celebrity wants that? Well, I know it might be Robert De Niro. He's apparently going broke, which is some good news. Anything bad that happens?
I don't know. It depends on the situation, and I mean, the revealing photos or whatever it is. I mean, $60 to have a picture. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't want to say, but no, not in the general aspect. No.
$60 plus for a photo. Oh, Nick says, "Oh, I'd pay that for of me throat punching De Niro." Huh. David Novi says, "If she's hot enough." Dave, you believe that a Biden win is is the Obama power?
They're still saying Biden's going to nominate Michelle Obama as the vice president, which is like a no-brainer. That's like a lot of people are saying that's the only way he could possibly win. But I'm like, oh, Jesus. I don't think she can stand up to the scrutiny of the campaign or debate either with all her fucking skeletons. I mean, it might be their best shot, but take it, I guess.
They're also talking about Whitmer from Michigan being back in the picture. I mean, she's a woman, but she's not black, and he promised a black woman. Here's the problem. They don't have anyone, much less a black woman, in the Democratic national election that can't be, as BZ said, torn to shreds. I mean, you were talking about people like what the fuck's her name from California? The heels up there.
Camel toe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kamala. Camel toe Harris. Yeah, Camel toe Harris. Yeah. I mean, she'll get trashed by the left. I mean, they'll trash her worse than the right will, and the right's going to go at her at 100 times, pretty strong. So they don't like her. She lost the election that night because Gabby Hayes or Gifford, whatever the fuck her name was, Tulsi Gabbard, that's who it was, brought up her freaking shit as being a prosecutor and how many black people she arrested and put in jail. So Tina Scott says, nope, if I do, I'll keep it and take it with me when I walk in to vote so they won't think I did a mail-in ballot. Oh, yeah, there was a question. Alan McMillan wants to know if anyone has received a mail-in ballot yet. And Jimmy Collins says he got one. I haven't gotten anything, and there was a cat who got one. That was pretty fun. And the cat was actually dead, and the owner said he'd probably vote Democrat. So Jimmy Collins is in Kentucky. So I don't think we just had a major case here in the Florida Supreme Court that they wanted to bring back ballot harvesting, the Democrats, and it was shot down. And the mail-in voting, I think, is on hold. I don't know, but
didn't they just pass? Democrats like to change the laws all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like in California, you can actually turn in your ballot 17 days after the goddamn election. Still have it count.
Nice. I didn't know that. I should find out what
Yeah.
it is in Florida.
Look for it.
You
Yeah,
know,
look it up.
I
True
actually get
story.
there are old people or sick people or, people maybe they live 5 or 10 miles from a voting booth. You know, I get, they should be allowed to vote, obviously. And if, they got mail-in voting now, it's called, what the hell they call that? Absentee balloting. Which apparently has been very corrupt for many years. I've recently found out through an article I read.
Oh yeah, and free ballots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most states, like Louisiana, you have to apply for that within a certain time period, and then you have to justify why you want it.
Yeah.
Military, out of state, out of country.
Yeah.
Or what whatever the case may be, but you can't just say, "Give me one."
No, it
doesn't work that way.
No, you're absolutely
Nor can
right.
I just walk up to the polling place and not show my physical ID.
Yeah, we can't either.
Plus, where my name has to be on it.
Yeah. We do the exact same thing here.
Some people are apparently too stupid to get a voter ID, any kind of ID.
Yeah, I have
if anything's racist,
I got a
if
voter.
anything's racist, is telling the black people they're too stupid to get one.
We do the exact same thing here. You got to sign the thing with your name, where your name's on there, and they run we got the credit card license, so they do it like a credit card, and then they give you a paper ballot, and you go draw some pictures on there and put it in the machine. And I agree with Alan. He says there are legitimate real reasons for mail-in ballots. When I was in the Marine Corps, around voting time, they would pass out forms you had to fill out to be able to vote through absentee balloting. And then whatever state you lived in would send you.
Yeah, I know you passed out a lot of times.
I did. But for the most part, we all know what this is. The whole country knows what this shit is. It's a way for them to cheat. Every state that has started doing this has had major problems with voter fraud. And voter fraud is a major crime that is being ignored. Every election, maybe one or two people get arrested and they may go to jail, they may not. But it's going to be massive. That's why I'm worried. Because there's not enough time. There's not enough time after the election for Trump to fix it.
No, but the problem is they find a few hundred cases and they say, see, it's not rampant. There's no, massive voter fraud. Well, you're not looking hard enough is the problem.
Not to mention, you're not looking at the laws that some of these states are making to enable voter fraud. Like, you got states that allow illegals to vote. Really?
Can't say that, Jared.
Yeah.
That's false.
Well, it's not false. And that's the problem. When the truth,
we know that.
Yeah.
But
when the truth and the facts become the lies and the lies become the truth, which is what has happened. I mean, let's face it, every day Nancy Pelosi or somebody has some kind of press conference and they are literally lying to your face. And they know it. I don't understand how anyone can do that, lie to your face and act like it's a fact and innocent. Have that innocent look on their face. I don't get it.
And do it every fucking day. Night without a guilty conscience.
Yeah. How
can these people go to bed with Without a guilty conscience.
Money.
Well, that too.
They
You know,
call it, I think
Bill and Hillary Clinton.
they pass it off as
Can you imagine
politics.
being a fly on the wall, see what their conversation?
The reason they can do it, one of the reasons, is first of all, they're cold-hearted bastards and bitches. But, I mean, they pass it off as politics. That's politics. It's dirty business. And it shouldn't be. They're more than, and they're doing nothing for anybody else. So, I don't know.
Win at all costs to stay in the power.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Well, like I say, money will make people do a lot of shit.
No,
Yeah. Especially 40 or 50 years of money for doing nothing.
yeah, well, once you
You know,
become,
you think about it.
once you become
Has
corrupt,
the government closed down
no.
like the bars and the restaurants have? Hell no. They're still getting paid.
Listen,
But if Trump said, I'm going to close down the government, like he's done before, oh my God, that's a travesty.
the thing is
See the double
once,
standard there?
once you sell your soul to the devil the first time, the rest of the times it just becomes getting easier and easier. So the first time you accept that bribe or you tell a small lie, the next one gets bigger, but it's easier. Before you know it, you have no soul left because you are just, you're empty. And I mean, you look at people like Mitt Romney. Just look at him physically. He's an empty vessel. I mean, I'm
I'd
sorry.
rather not.
Yeah,
But
I got you. It's sad. Anyway, guys, we're out of time. I hope everybody enjoyed our guest. Hopefully, we'll have more. I'm going to work on it, and I hope that everybody will enjoy the next one. I guess. Matt, do you have any last words for the evening?
Yeah, I'll give an update on me versus the raccoon later on tomorrow or something.
That's
See what
great.
happens.
That's great.
You got to get video, man.
I only got two hands.
Until he gets a hold of you. But, you know, phone in one, axe in the other. You know, raccoon gets the gun. Somebody loses out this deal. That's all I got to say.
Oh boy. Well, good luck with this, Matt. I hope you survive it. I do. It would be not right. It just wouldn't feel right without you on the show anymore. Let's see. Kind of like.
Well, I think I can take him.
Kind of like fool me once,
You're already
shame on you. Fool me
part of
twice,
it.
shame on you. Confusies. Who's Confusies, Alan?
Confucius said.
Confusies. Thank you, Larry. Thank you,
He who goes
everybody.
to bed with itchy asshole wake up with stinky finger.
Yeah, that's nice. That's yeah. Max says you be nice to Rocky Raccoon. And Rocky Raccoon went back to his room only to find Gideon's Bible. Nick, any last words? Thank you, Jimmy Collins.
Yeah, good luck with that, Matt. Get the video. You know, you have kids. They got two hands. They can sit back and watch the debacle going on. I mean, come on. You know, they don't seem to be playing the drums. So tell them to have two cell phones recording. It's gonna be good.
Well, we just had 2 people come in.
Other
Let's
than
see.
that, good night, all.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric Driver is here and Teresa Ann Roberts. Sadly, we're going. So try harder next time.
Ever, I guess.
Starts at 7. Starts at 7. Missed the guests and everything, but that's all right. We'll have another one, and hopefully we'll have him back on at some point. Anyway, we'll be back Friday night with more shenanigans from Matt, his Rocky Raccoon episodes, and possibly some trivia and so forth. We will also have phone calls, real live ones, where you can call in and make fun of Matt being attacked by the raccoon, which will probably be big fun. Yeah, he may be coming to us from the hospital. I don't know. Raccoons will fuck up your day. They will. They will.
Yeah.
And they carry rabies.
You can all hear the screams live.
Yeah, they carry rabies and stuff. So Matt's probably going to have to get shots in his stomach, so we should be getting video of that. That'll be fun. Anyway, please stay vigilant, be aware of your surroundings at all times, and always remember it's amazing what you can do when you have no other choice. You know, like Matt getting shots in his stomach. We will be back Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern till 9 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully everybody will join us. And I hope everybody has a really good night. And if we're lucky.
You ain't going on goat feed tomorrow?
Oh, shit.
Goat feed. Yeah.
Yes, tomorrow night, I forgot. We will be on Alt Feed Radio on... well, it's trigger warning TV, but it's not actually a video site. We'll be on the radio tomorrow night. Fuck, I forgot all about that again. So, yes, 2 hours of rollicking our voices where I could sit here completely naked and just talk. That'd be great. And no one will know. You will miss my beautiful face, I understand, but sometimes, you know, we have to make sacrifices in life. So, let's see. I'll be more cheerful Friday. I'm a little cranky. Me too. I'm tired. We will be on Trigger Warning Radio tomorrow night, Tiffany. So it's a new thing we've been doing for the last few weeks. So hopefully everybody will show up over there. I can guarantee you'll probably be able to comment. So I will send out the link, and anybody who wants it, let me know. Anyway, everybody have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Well, you'll hear us tomorrow night.